weird false start. But I think I'm good to go now. It's definitely using the hardwired thing, but it looks like it was bad. But it's all right. It looks okay now. The bit rate looks okay. I'm gonna pause that because I don't want that. Wait, why is this room in emote only mode? Uh, Currently available emoticons. Wait, I am so confused. Um, uh, Wait, why is my chat in emote only mode? Twitch chat emote on. You know what? I'll just do it here. Twitch chat emote only mode. Twit ads emote. How to disable. Okay, here we go. That's what I want to see. I am going to get to Ruby stuff, as you can see on the right here, but I also want to figure out why. Oh, emote only off disables it. Okay. Okay, so I can do that maybe? Okay. Yeah, that was really weird. It must be null inside, like, trolling with me. I don't really understand what it is still, but yeah, it's something. All right. So, you know what? I might have a VOD. Let's check it. I might have a VOD just for that little bit that I did, which would be really funny. Oh, you know what? Also, I should check to make sure that OBS is like not gonna record my second audio track. Okay, so VOD. Okay, oh, you know what? This one didn't change. Okay, that's all right. That's good. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's geez, if I'm looking at this, it looks so bad. Okay, so how do I okay, 4 minutes? Okay. We're gonna delete this one, I think, right? I don't know how to delete that though. Oh, maybe I have to shoot, maybe I have to go to like settings or something. Oh, content maybe? Video producer? Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, I don't see it here. Um what if I refresh this page? Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to delete that. 30 seconds. 30 seconds of a broadcast. Okay. All right, better. Okay. Let me bring up the chat real quick. Okay. I actually don't yeah, I don't really need that. Okay. Um all right, there we go. Okay. So my bitrate looks a little weird, but I think it's going to be all right. Okay, so I'm still typing with Ruby RBS types. So I put it in the description. This oh, you know what? I am using oh yeah, what? That's weird. Arrow? There's expected an arrow. Maybe it's this. Oh, this needs an arrow. So first return self or nil, right? Actually, it just returns self, right? Otherwise, if row is nil, it'll raise. Okay, so what am I doing here, right? So today I am clearly I'm messing up my steep file and my types and stuff. Let's see, why steep type construction? Wait, is there active support in here somehow? Oh my goodness, it works its way into everywhere. This is why I should give up on. You know what? I might even just switch to Rust right now. I sometimes I forget about active support. Oh my gosh, I forget about it sometimes. Okay, so I don't know what's wrong with my type checking here. Unexpected error, self type interface. Unexpected self type interface, right? Okay, so I think that's probably, maybe I'll say instance or something, right? Or maybe I'll try T and see if that is better. So I am not like really great with this RBS stuff. I don't know if anyone actually is. It's definitely um, it's definitely something new for me. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we've done something. Cannot find type T, right? Ruby RBS syntax. Um, so RBS is Ruby types. Ruby 3 has typing. Um, and that is what I'm trying to figure out today is like, how can I've done some typing on my web framework, ES Code, but I haven't done, I made some changes today. Let me show you what I changed here. You know what? Let me just go to this T. I really want to see what this T thing is. It's like supposed to be generics or something. But I don't. T. Object is scoped type variable T in the class declaration. Cannot be distinguished from class instance types. They are scoped. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it didn't like self, but maybe if I give it like instance instead of T, right? Instance. Let's see. Okay, so now it is really complaining about something else. It doesn't hold generally, but testing it with class methods for compatibility. Yeah, so in Ruby there's a thing called a module, and it's kind of like a interface type or something, like an interface. Um, and um, I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but yeah, I should probably get back to my Twitter thing, my Twitter export thing. But I got kind of hung up on this. So okay, let me show you what I was doing today. So I came up with this this I don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea. It, where was I doing? Oh right. Okay, so I thought, oh, why don't I just make everything includes, right? And you can like include the stuff that you want. So like timestamps is here, right? And then I can actually I can what was I gonna do? Oh, C tags. Okay. So I can, so each little thing has a bunch of, oh, you know what? Yes query is not found. Yes code. Yeah, that's definitely not a thing. Yes queries require relative. What did I call it? Yes table. Is that what I called it? Yes table. Yes table, and then less like yes row, I think too, right? Okay. Okay, let me try it again. Oh, it's still not working. Okay, well, anyway, I'll just show you what it looks like. So yes queries is what, so I split up yes record basically, right? So like this used to be a bunch of methods. It used to look like this if you look at the type. That is oh, you know what? Let me bring up chat just in case anyone's talking. Okay. So this was a very large class. I actually got rid of this. This was a very large class. I had like a bunch of methods, like they had a bunch of class methods and a bunch of instance methods. And so I thought, oh, why don't I just split this up? Why don't I just split this up into like a bunch of different things? So I thought for some reason that would make it simpler, but I don't think it did. So I split it up into three things, right? So there's the representation of a database table in yes table as a module, and I also split it up further into like class table things, like the table name, inferring the primary key column from conventions, right? I think that's called hard coding, but yeah, it's called conventions in Rails. So then there's like, so I have like the schema and like it reads the columns and all that stuff. And then on startup, right? And then so I split it up into this, and I split this up too, so like it can check for constraint errors. And I split this, and then not only that, but I also came up with this yes row thing, which I'm not sure if I even included it there. Yeah, I did. Okay, so there's three parts, right? There's like the table representation, which is like class methods, um, like find, right, which is just like find by primary key, and then all, which is like find everything, and count. So it's a little different because before I had that in SQL queries, but I thought they're pretty useful and it's pretty easy to generate the SQL for it. So I might as well just do it. And then so I have like insert, right? Insert all, delete all that gets generated when you include yes table. And then I have yes row, right? So this is it also extends the table stuff for the table name, mostly because I need it for the primary key column for update. And this one only adds update and delete. So that's good. And then it adds like stuff like saved and 2param for like routing and stuff. And then this is just private methods for update SQL generation. Yeah, I also came up with I'm like trying to reduce Ruby's like dynamism, right? Like how can I make things more statically typed? So this is probably the most dynamic part now, right? Is this here? This okay. This is dynamic dispatch to every um, every column that comes back. I send it the new value. I update the value in the object, which I mean, I'm not even trying to get around that really. So here's an example, right? So I decided to generate adder accessors and just have them sitting there in each model because the model was pretty bare to begin with. I mean, yes, I'm reading all the columns from the database, and I was like dynamically setting adder accessors by user ID. Where is that used? Oh, okay. I can just probably do find now, right? There we go. Oh, you know what? Find. I should probably say, yeah, because it'll be nil if it's not found, right? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm statically generating adder accessors now, and the last part is yes queries, right? So if I go over here, yes queries. So this is so I split it up into the insert and insert all, delete all, and the three queries, all, find, and count. And then this is update and delete. And then that's in yes row. And then yes queries, it does what the rest of it did, which was it reads the SQL file, and you can call the named queries in the SQL file. So so I have user.rb here, and then in the same folder I have user.sql. And then so like you give it a name, and then there's like a little bit of SQL here. And then you could call it like this. You can call it here. You can say user.first, and then it's called by Twitter ID and username, and you just give it ID and username, right? Or whatever you want to pass in, right? As parameters. I guess like one thing I could do is only allow like an array or a hash, right? Like maybe it makes more sense to do an array instead of just parameters at the end. Um, yeah, I might do that. I'm not sure. But anyway, the way it works now is you just call it just like this, and that's how it works. So all three of those combine, right? With our powers combined, we complete yes record, right? Just how it was before. So I guess like what is the point of that? The point is now you can have a now you can add these anywhere, right? You can make any class in your code. You can make any class a model, right? Essentially, right? So you can so when I generate a new yes code project, I don't need yes record anymore. I can just give you app record and you can do what you want with it, right? So you can like override things. There's no inheritance hierarchy necessarily. I mean, you could, right? You could just say yes record, right? One other thing that I added was this idea of like a class as a query. I'm not like super convinced about this, but it is really simple to implement. So I might as well try it, right? Let's see, yes code table. This is table name, right? Self. Okay. Table name. Okay. Actually, no, I don't even need table name, right? I just need the name of the class, right? But snake cased. So I just need strings, right? Extend yes code strings. And then I just need the snake case, right, of the class name. So I'll just call it file. Why did I call it file name? Maybe, no, that makes sense still. Okay, so instead of self here, wherever it is, there it is, file name. Okay, so yeah, this is like if you want to have a class, like you want to have a class like that represents a query, right? Like recent to-dos, right? Or recent users or something, or recent no, it's fine, recent to-dos, right? And then you would say include yes query. And then I should probably, now that I've broken this out, I should probably just like release these as Ruby gems by themselves, or at least for the database access stuff. So and then you could say you could give it some accessors, right, of the columns that will return, right? So you can say to do ID, and you could have, and in another in the same folder, you could have what is going on with it? Okay, so you can have a SQL file that's like select from to-dos, or just you can return the accessors, right? So to-do ID, to-do name, right? Or you can say to-dos dot name as to-do name, right? Or you can just say name, right? There we go. And then you can order by whatever, right? Limit 10 or whatever, right? And then for this, now you have this as accessors, so you can so it'll read when you include this, and you call recent to-dos dot select, right? Actually, you know what? Yeah, this query has the name, right? It reads the SQL and it prepares a prepared statement, and then it executes that prepared statement, right? And then so I think and then it calls a new. Okay, so you could yeah, you know what? I actually did. Okay, so you could call this. You could call as long as the thing has new, right? So you'd have to say like initialize, right? And then name to do ID. I would generate all of this and not actually type this. That's one thing I would do. So now I would say to do ID, and then so you can call select, and then just give it any parameters, but it doesn't have any parameters, so that's it. But if it did have a parameter like you know, where user ID or something, right? Then you could give it you know, some user ID 1, right, or whatever, right? And then it would return recent to-dos, right, as the class. Or you could do something like this. You could say, oh, it's okay, instead of that, you can say module, right? And then you can have a to-dos class, right? That is a a yes table and a yes row, right? Or I guess for this you could just call it yes row, right? And then you could give it your accessors. Actually, you don't even have to give it accessors, right? So now, like, okay, so this the point of this is, so you can use it as standalone, right? And you could just say, oh, you can make this a row too, and so now it's a query and a row, and you could like combine them, and this is kind of like active record, or you could just say have a separate class that is a row, right? And then you can have an adder accessor. You don't even need accessors though, really, now, because you already have this here. And when you include this module, recent to do, you include it as a module, you also don't need this initialize either, right? That could be here, right? Okay. And then, or I guess you could have the initialize, but you probably want one initialize and not like a bunch of initializes from a bunch of modules. But anyway, so you can have accessors and the query, and so like you can see what it's going to return, right? So when you quit now, when you call to do, you can call recent to dos, and then actually you can call select, and you can say recent to dos, and then you can like give it whatever it needed, right? The user ID of 1. So it's kind of flexible in that way. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, I think that's one way is like kind of nice, is you can organize it how you want. So this is probably what I would do. And at a glance of the file system, you can see how many queries there are like across your whole system. Whereas it's hard to see that, I guess, in Rails. You have to like grep or something. It's not super straightforward how to do that. So this is kind of nice. And your queries are statically typed, right? So like, you know, at start time, what is coming back over this query and what it needs, right? So like user ID, right? And I mean, if you can give it a hash too if you really wanted to, right? So you would say user ID here is 1, right? And so you can like name your variables too that you pass in. So this is pretty cool. You can also, if you really wanted to, I was thinking about define method, but I want to stay away from dynamic stuff. But you could also, I could also generate at like after the last include or class, right? After this line or this line, I could generate like a, or even in this one, I could generate a method that calls, that has the params here, and then it also just calls select recent to dos, right? And then it just passes user ID. Yeah. So then that's one thing I could do too. And then here you can call, you could just alias if you wanted it to be like to dos recent, right? By user ID or something, you could do this, right? And then you could say alias. Actually, how does alias work? Let's look at that for a second. Alias method. I know I actually want alias though. Alias, I think it's recent to dos, right? There. And now like it's language level stuff, and it's not like a bunch of extra stuff on top of Ruby, right? It's just, it is Ruby, I guess. And it's, you can generate all this stuff. So it's not like you'd be typing this out just for one query, right? Yeah, or you can use the multiple yes queries, and you know, you could do that too. So yeah, that's kind of what I was doing earlier. Yeah, that was a lot. That was a mouthful. All right. So anyway, where was I? The typing, right? RBS types. Let me delete that stuff real quick. All right, what is it? What did I say? Temp RB? Temp SQL? Is that what I did? Yeah. Okay, so I'm currently typing the yes queries version, the multiple queries version of this. But I'm having trouble with the like typing the module and like what it's supposed to return. It's supposed to be like either instance or self, but it doesn't like either of those. So I might just say maybe I'll try bot as like the bottom of the inheritance hierarchy. I think that's what it stands for, right? So what does it say? Top is a super type of all the types. Bot is a subtype of all the types. Void is a super type of all the types. Okay. So nil or nil class, bool or boolish. It is an alias of top type. We recommend using boolish for method arguments and block return values. If you only use, you can write bool if you strictly want true false. Boolish. Oh, I see. Okay, that's interesting. They are all equivalent for the type system. They are all type. Void value should not be used. Boolish implies that is truth top as anything else. So I might try bottom maybe. But yeah, I'm not super clear on that. But I have also been looking at Rust quite a bit, and I'm definitely almost ready to stream some Rust with SQLite, and that is going to be pretty fun because Rust type system is very nice, and the tools are so much better. Language server is like so much better than Ruby's, so I'm definitely more excited about Rust than I was before. And the syntax honestly, it's not that bad, you know. I mean, if you look at any other language, it's not like that much worse, but it gives you a lot more. So I would love to do um, single compiled binaries that I could just copy over to a server, and it has all the. I wonder if you can Rust compiles static compiles assets into binary. There might be something, right? Packer, okay. This project is based on the original Rust embed. I made enough modifications. Packers library, blah blah blah. 6 stars. Let's see, Rust embed. Okay, so this Rust embed, custom derived macro which loads files into the Rust binary at compile time. Oh, I love it. You can use this to embed your CSS, JS, and images into a single executable, which can be deployed to your servers. Also, it makes it easy to build a very small Docker image. Okay. I wouldn't even use a Docker image though if I could statically embed stuff into the binary. So yeah, that's super exciting. So yeah, I would love to do like the point of doing embedded static binaries is you just say, hey, you have a Raspberry Pi. Like I'm very into this idea of like we should have our own little clouds running in our closets, right? And so Ruby is not really great for that because I mean there's mruby, but you still it's like it's not I mean you can do static stuff with mruby. Like I think you can actually like compile it. uh let's see, so here we have bytecode. um Yeah, so the mruby. Oh, so you can actually the the mruby and a file system is required. Yeah. So this variant is interesting. Yeah, so I don't want to integrate into C code, into a C string. See, it's definitely possible to use mruby and compile it to a single executable, but I would say that Rust has more. It has more like the Rust embed stuff, right? It has macros and things. Um, so yeah, but so yeah, if you could, and Rust also the runtime is better for, or the lack of a runtime, I should say, is better for um, low resource stuff like Raspberry Pis. So yeah, it would be nice to like have some self-hostable open source servers for things. Like I want my own version of my own personal version of Instagram, for example, um, but like through a website, right? Because that's you can get around like the Apple tax for websites. And so like it'd be really cool to have something that looks like Instagram, but it's on the web and it's hosted on your own server in your own closet. And then like you could have all these tools too. Like you could have um, offsite backups. So like I'm not like totally against the cloud like I used to be, but I think it should be replicated. So like Raspberry, your local stuff first, and then just backups offsite to the cloud, and that's probably more interesting to me than I think a lot than what I was than a lot of things that people are doing today. Because I like the idea of client and server, but I don't like the idea that it's all SaaS and it's all like on the cloud and stuff, and you need internet access for it. If you had your own little Raspberry Pi, or even on even a client server on your own device, right? Like you could just be like, oh, well, you can't though because you have an iPhone or something or an Android phone. But yeah, so if you can just have a Raspberry Pi that you can actually control the hardware, that is like leaps and bounds better than having to actually rely on something like Facebook or Google or whatever. And I mean, you could replicate everything, Gmail, Google search, which I don't know if that makes sense on a Raspberry Pi, but it could. You can replicate Instagram, like you could do little offshoots, like little tiny things that you could not do and host yourself, right? But yeah, they can all be mirrored too. Like you can have, if I can host them on a Raspberry, you can host them. It's open source, host on a Raspberry Pi, and it's also you can host it in the cloud too. So like if you don't want to run on a Raspberry Pi, like that's fine. But also the point of Rust would be it's so cheap to run in on a tiny VPS because it takes no resources. That would be a huge thing. I would love all of that. Just what I'm saying. I would love all of this. And I don't really care like what kind of magic it takes, like this derived stuff. I don't really care because like Ruby has way more magic than this. So yeah, I'm clearly okay with whatever weird stuff the Rust community is going to throw at me through crates. I'm totally fine with this. Um, yeah. Plus, it's nice to like be a beginner again at something. It's kind of cool. But anyway, so for now, for the next like little bit, I think I am going to optional type, so the developer can emit pass string or pass nil. Oh, really? Yeah, let's do that. Two question marks. Actually, you know what? This is this. This is not this anymore. These are now this thing. Let me see. First value execute. Okay, execute is params though. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And then this right here. Anyway, so yeah, that was my whole weird thing that I was just thinking about. Raspberry Pis, Rust. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. Um, I w- and I would love to have open source copies that are self hostable for everything, right? Every single thing, and maybe just have like a little self hostable app store too. So like you could go fetch new stuff from like my server if you wanted to. That would be really cool. Okay, so instance T doesn't hold generally. Okay, so it doesn't like instance either, right? What if I return, but it didn't like self either, right? What if I just do like object, right? Object. Or what if I say, oh yeah, this is why it would be nice to have a class that is yes record, right? Yeah, I guess I could just say, what if I did do that? If it's just a yes record, right? Maybe it does make sense to do the inheritance thing. Um, yeah, I was like inspired by Rust's traits and structs and how they do class or OOP stuff. But maybe it doesn't. See, it doesn't mind yes record, right? That's interesting. But I definitely would like to, whatever class that you put this in, that's what I'm trying to do, right? So I actually, let me see this stupid thing. Um, Class name, interface type, um, self. Denotes the type of receiver. This type is used to model the open recursion via self. Cool. Instance denotes the type of instance of the class. Class is the singleton of the class. Yeah, that's why I thought it was instance, right? Module. Um, Type variables cannot be distinguished from class instance types. They are scoped or generic methods. So here's them typing enumerable, right? lm and return. And then they have find, which takes an lm and returns a boolish and a nillable lm. So that's kind of, why use lm though? What is the difference? Like, is that something type variable? Empty tuple or one tuple sounds strange, but RBS allows these types. Yeah. I wonder what u is. What if I use u? What is x? T, and then we say x. X is a type variable scoped in the method type. Type variable t. Object is scoped in the class declaration, right? Interesting. But if I do a module, right? What if I try u, right? Because self definitely is not good. It's not looking good. Cannot find type u. Okay. Oh, you know what? Maybe I just do this. What if I do t here and t? And then I change u. I change u here to t, and this one too. Let's see. You might just complain, cannot find type t, right? Oh yeah, it was way worse than that. That was way worse. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. Look at all that. How did I ruin this so bad? All right, so it doesn't like self, instance, but it doesn't mind yes record, right? So maybe for now I keep the inheritance on yes record, but yes record, when you check out the implementation, it's just going to be a bunch of includes. I mean, that is something, I guess, right? Okay, so let me see. But I don't actually want it to be yes record. That's I just come back to this. But at least that's working. Where is column though? What is it? RBS 18 column? Oh, it's typing yes record for some reason. That's interesting. Oh, because I'm calling yes record, of course. Okay, so if I put self back in here for a module, you can write self or self before the name of the method to specify. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Self is for module functions. That's it. Module functions. Oh, because you're not sure if it's going to be self or not. Public or private changes the visibility. Attribute definition. Mixin, include, extend, and prepend. You can define mixins between classes and between class and modules. Okay. You can also include or extend an interface. Okay. Oh, that doesn't really help me. Okay, so if I give it self, it's definitely gonna freak out, right? It's not gonna like that. Yeah, it definitely did not like that. Okay, so if I give it, actually, you know what? Because I'm saying, can I find type column in yes record? I can at least fix that, right? Column. Oh, you know what? This I can just say include. I can just say include here. Yes record is now just a bunch of includes. Yes table, yes row, and yes queries, right? There we go. Then I can just delete everything. Actually, maybe I'll keep that. No, I'll just retype everything. So I can say sig yes table dot rbs. Okay, I can at least type this thing. I think. Let's look at this. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Let's start with what gets extended here. Yes code. Table. RBS. Okay, so module. Yes code table. Okay, yes code. Class table, right? You know what I should do is I should type prof this. Type prof lib yes code table, and then just put it into sig yes code table, right? RBS. Okay, so now if I refresh this, there it is. Type prof gave me the types. Thank you, type prof. This is going to be a string. Primary key column, also a string. It actually picked that up. Schema is... What is schema? Let's look at it. Schema is a... it is a hash of strings and an array of hash untyped, right? Actually, you know what? This is a... No, it's fine. I'll just do untyped. Okay, so that's that. And then columns is... it is an array of a column, right? And then inspect returns a string. Yes, okay. So then if I go over to... actually, you know what? Let's just try that. Steep check... lib yes code table.rb. It should have no problems. Oh, okay, that's fine. Include, yeah, okay, so that's it. It's trying to type check a bunch of stuff or things that it's missing, so we can do that too. Type prof lib yes row .rb sig yes row .rbs. Whoops, I forgot the arrow. Okay, there it is. Man, I have a lot of bots like joining me every once in a while. It's really weird. So here I'll open up yes row here, and then this one's yes row.rbs. Okay, so at least this exists now, right? Let's see if I can actually type check my other thing, my table thing. Okay, so cannot find compatible overloading of type string hash untyped. So I mapped the schema, and oh yeah, that's interesting. Schema is actually, that was the wrong type. Thank you, Steep and RBS types. I actually got that wrong. Schema in this case is actually just the array, right? And not a hash. Okay, there we go. But yeah, it definitely should be cool. Okay, so yes code table does not have a method file name. It does not have a method file name, but it does extend strings, yes code strings. So I can probably just say strings, right? And then even here I can say strings. And in both cases, it should pick up that I'm in the module. Okay, so it does not have method file name. So it didn't understand that I'm extending here. File name. I guess what I could do is just say, no, I can't do that. I need to extend. So I guess it's not, Steep is not, or I guess RBS is not smart enough to realize that I've extended, right? Or maybe it's me. It's probably me. It's probably me. But let's see. Extend. Did I just read that? Right? Or let's say mix in. Right? Is that what we're gonna mix in? What is prepend? What is that? Ruby mix in prepend? Extending Ruby classes. Prepend. A pinch of theory, whatever. With one module included. Before I move on, we should stop for a second. You saw how you could add instance methods and class methods. Blah, 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 blah. Right? Yes. Okay. So what's prepend? That works similarly to the include. The order of included module in the ancestors chain. When you use include, the module is placed right after your class. But when you use prepend, is prepended, means that it's set before your class. Hello from module, hello from class. Oh, I see. Okay, I get it. Yeah, what would be the point though? I don't really understand that. It's really weird. Okay, so it doesn't understand the extend, even though I definitely did do this. I definitely said extend strings. And I do have a type for strings. Yes, code strings RBS. And it does have a type file name. This is a class though. I'm not even sure if it makes sense. It should be a module. Yeah, I don't know why it was a class. Okay, let's try that. Man, it still doesn't like that. It does not have method file name. Wow. That's interesting. But it doesn't, like, it has table name though? Oh, because table name is defined here, right? So I guess what I could do is instead of doing strings, right? Because it's not smart enough to understand what I mean. Yeah, it's I guess what I could do is go to yes code strings and just actually call snake case. Yeah, I could just call snake case, right? Strings snake case. 2s on that, right? Oh, you know what? I actually have to call class name is this. Shoot, I mean, this does work though. That's the thing. I want the types to work for me, I guess. Not against me. I wonder if anyone said anything in the GitHub. Extend. I'm this close to Rust. This close. Let's see. Extend comparable. I mean, it seems like it is working though, right? Do I need like a underscore even though it's not an interface? No, it's still not great. Still not good. I guess I could spell it out, maybe because it doesn't like that. That should fail now that I'm thinking about it. Let's see. Did anyone talk about extend? How to type refinements. Validate, extend, and any error when using type variables in an extend statement. RBS validate. We think that bar A should have an error because extend is adding the methods to the singleton class, so it won't have access to instance type variables. Validate extend is out with an update. Thank you for your support. Oh, okay, that was like 6 months ago, 5 months ago. RBS validate. RBS validate help. uh, lib es code, or sorry, sig es code table.rbs. That didn't do anything. That did nothing. Let's see. Add type refinements. I remember there was an extends keyword from monkeypad, but that has since disappeared from the syntax page. Is there an alternative? I'll just give that a thumbs up, I guess. Yeah, no one's really talked about this. I don't think anyone's actually doing this. Is anyone doing this besides me in the world? Let's see. Include to not be allowed to extend other classes. Steep check. What if I just do steep check by itself? Maybe it's checking the file. Oh my gosh. That's so bad. I've really ruined it now. Module constraint errors. Statement. What's this one? Oh, mail. Yeah. What was the problem though? What is this syntax error problem? I've gone too long without committing. Unexpected self. Oh, okay. So it still doesn't like my yes queries thing. What if I just change the steep file to sig yes code table.rbs, and then can I do two sig yes code strings.rbs? I don't know. Let's see. Instead of the whole thing, just do those two. Wait, really? Oh, check lib. Lib yes code table. Let's do sig here still. And then let's do table.rb. And then lib yes code strings.rb. Okay, I'm just checking the two. I'm trying to check just the two modules to see if I could get this thing to do something. Okay, so it still doesn't know that it doesn't have a method file name, even though I said that it does, right? Okay, so it doesn't matter. Like, it's definitely ignoring extend here. What if I include strings instead of extending it, even though I need to extend it? What if I call self class file name? Wait, no type error detected if I include, even though it's supposed to be extended? It reads include as extend? Okay. All right. All right. You know what? I'm done with this for today. There's no, like, what? That doesn't even, okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna give up on this for now. Because it's clearly not working. Extend is clearly not working. Like, there's no how. Okay, if I go back to the syntax, right, and I go to extend, that's definitely not working, right? But if I include it somehow, it has it. This I guess what I could do is force everything to always be include, right? And I can always just say def self included class. This is what drove me to class extend class methods, right? This is what drove me to snake case. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. They're all class methods, right? This is what drove me to Lisp in the first place, right? Or at least functional programming in the first place. And now I'm back in OOP land, and it's just treating me like garbage. Okay, OOP and Ruby are treating me like I'm okay. Wait, hold on. Class extend included class. Okay, class extend. Okay, so if I do this, now I can actually include, and but now I have to do this here too. It's like a it's like a virus. Like I have to keep doing this. Extend, right? Is it not gonna do the thing? Extend? Oh, it's not gonna do it. Class methods, and because these, I think these are all class methods anyway. So let's see. Except for inspect, that might not be one. Class methods. Okay. Okay. So end. All right. So this. So now I'm including strings in the module, and if I include, I actually extend class methods on each. And so this will finally work the way I want it to. And I have to wrap these in class methods, right? And then this one too, I also have to wrap in class methods. Yes code, what was it called? Strings? Whoops, strings RBS. Okay, module class methods. Okay, so this should work now, right? But like the type error shouldn't show up, but it should also work. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You know what? You know what? This might be a good time to switch back to Rust. Wow. You know what? I don't have I I I uh yeah, I honestly don't know what to do here. Because including and extending are not the same. I guess like what I could do is just leave it how it was and then just use include and like just know in the future that extend does not work. Um Extends? Is it extends? No, it's extend. Okay, I just have to yeah, I just have to oh, you know what? This might be me actually. Because I think it might I think if I did this self thing, it might actually work. I think this might actually work. And if I did this here too, right? Cuz you're not sure at static time like what this is the last chance. Okay, this is my last chance here. Before I switch over to Rust for like the next 20 minutes. Okay, I'm this close to a to switching, and swearing off Ruby altogether. I will never ship another a website ever. I'll never deploy ever again. It's just gonna be Rust from now on. Okay, so if I extend this and I look at this, I get rid of class methods here. I look at these selfs and I look at include, right? I'm looking at this here too, and it has self, which I think is more like correct. Yes code strings. Just one more time here looking at this. We'll make this smaller so I can see this. Okay, so this they could be include or extend, even though they're really supposed to be extended here. But yeah. Okay, so this. Okay. All right. So this is looking. This is. All right. So this is looking good. This is looking good. Okay, this is the moment of truth. Extend strings, right? This is extended. Okay, so there's extend here, and there's extend here, right? Come on, RBS, you can do it. Shoot. All right, it doesn't make any sense, but include strings, like that's it. Like it'll actually type check if I use include instead of extend. Cool. I wonder if I try prepend. Like I wonder if that'll work. Let's see. Okay. So like prepend works. Probably because so I think if I did self class file name and I did extend here, it would work. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. What if I did self file name? Yeah, there's nothing I could do or say, right? I actually wonder if this will work on a real class. Like if I actually extended this. Yeah, I wonder if it would actually work. I should try that right now. I should try that right now actually. Okay, to the tests. So that's type checking, right? So test yes code table test table RB test yes code. Okay, test table test router. Let's look at that. Okay, test table. Okay, so here I'm gonna make a class that I would use with this. So I would say class. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna extend this into no. Am I? Am I gonna extend it into the class? Yeah, why not? Extend ES code table, right? Okay, so this test table is the thing. Test table name, right? So the table name should be assert test def test table name. Assert equal test table. And then this should be table name, right? Yeah, that this makes sense. It's confusing, but it still makes sense. Ruby test run. Okay, uninitialized constant ES code table. Okay, perfect. Let's look at the run.rb. ES code. I need to add that table. Okay. I also added query too. Let's see. I don't think I added that though. Query. What does query depend on? Query depends on nothing. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and then let's see. Queries. Yeah, I think that's all I added. Oh, constraint errors. I was wrong. What did I call it? Constraint errors? Constraint errors. We can add that at the top. Why not? Okay. All right, so undefined method table name for test yes record to do class, right? Oh, this is something else. Yes record. Oh, I do have a test for this already. Oh, that's hilarious. Test yes record. Okay, maybe the types were right and I was wrong. Okay, so I inherited from yes record here, and yes table is included, and I extended yes table, and it should have table name as a method on class, right? A class method. Maybe I don't understand extends. To do table name should be a thing, right? But I extended it in yes record. What does it say? Undefined method for test yes record to do class. Yeah, maybe I don't really understand extend, right? No, I do understand it. It's not really working out like I thought it would. So I extend it into the module into yes table, right? Because I need table name here. Um, sorry, trying to change the music. Okay. This. So when I extend table, I just, I just don't want to. This just does not want to work for me. File name? Oh no, it's complaining. It doesn't have table name, right? Undefined method table name. Even though I extended it as a module, it is a module. Yes code table. I extended it, right? It extends strings. Maybe the extend thing is like too much, right? Maybe it's too much. Um, you know what I should do is I should just try this in IRB. Yes code. Okay, A. Let's do a module A that has, we already have it. We already have it. Class, whatever, right? Extend, yes code, table, end. Object doesn't support inspect. Inspect. Whatever, table name. Undefined local variable or method file name for whatever class. Interesting. So I think maybe you can't do multiple extends like that. Maybe extends only works from one level. Well, that would have been nice to know before I did all this stuff. Module A has A, right? Which returns A. And then end. And then module B has extend A and end. Okay, so B should have A. Okay, it does. Module C, extend B, end. C should have A? Interesting. Interesting. I did not know this. I did not know you could only extend one level. Wow, that's actually like a nice property. That's actually a really nice property. Because then you can't have like this whole inheritance hierarchy, right? This kind of gets rid of the monkey banana problem, right? The monkey banana problem, by the way, is OOP. Let's see, monkey and the banana problem. It's a classic, right? You know what? This is like a really stupid. Basically, what happens is you try to grab the banana, but like all your whole object graph has to come with you, right? Um, so do monkeys eat bananas? So yeah, that's that. So this you can't. Okay, Ruby, um, extend two or more levels deep. Let's see, is that um from deep within nested module? Let's see. Yeah, I guess you can't do this. So when I extend B, I can't do that. I wonder if it works where I'm gonna try this over again. So if I wonder if I do module A, def A, and I use includes. I wonder if I could do it with includes. Module B, include A, and right? Because I included it, right? But there's no new on a module. So I'd have to class C, include B, and so C new A, right? Should return A. Okay, so what if I did module D, include B, and then I redefined C to include. I actually made it E, includes D, E new A. Oh, so it does. So include. So extend is the only one. You can't pass class methods in a hierarchy. You can't do it. So Steep was right. I was wrong. That's not how Ruby works. Shoot, I learned something new today. There you go. All right. Well, okay. So if I can't extend, I should probably figure something else out, right? Because I think I'm using this table thing in like two different spots. Let's see. Let's see. So I'm using it here and here. Although I'm only extending in one class here. So oh no, because I'm trying to extend strings inside of Yesco table. So I'm using it in here and here, and I really only want it for table name in both places. So what I could do is just say string, and I can actually just make table name in string, right, instead of table, because it's just file name anyway, right? So instead of trying to extend the module there, I could just do this instead. So table name is used here too. But I guess I can, but I can just extend it in the thing that I'm looking for too, right? So I still want this. Strings. And then I'll just call this table name, right? I'll just alias it. Alias. Docs. We need the doc. I need the docs. Let's see. What is this? Alias. Alias. Not psych. Alias method. Man, I thought Ruby 3 alias. Okay. Maybe it doesn't exist anymore. Is that a thing? Does it not exist? I guess I could do alias method. Alias method, orig exit. Okay, so we can say file name, table name, right? Use alias. Oh, table file name. Okay. All right, so that should work, right? And then so now I can just call table name from strings here, but I also need it in what was I even doing? I forgot what I was doing. Oh, yes record, right? Okay, so this includes yes table, but you actually need include strings too, right? For table name. Okay, so that should work. Let's try it. Whoops. Okay. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Gotta prefix it with the right module name. Okay, so this undefined method table name for tester to do class. Okay, so I don't want to include, I want to extend, right? There we go. Okay, so that is working, right? Undefined method table name for the class that I was doing the thing on. Test table. So if I extend table, yeah, that's true. It doesn't have it anymore, right? Because I'm doing like this extends thing. I wonder if there's a way. No, that's too much. I don't want to get crazy. Okay, so this table RBS. Okay. So this doesn't have table name, right? Or it does have table name. No, not anymore, actually. So that extend strings, right? I actually wonder if Steep will Steep will work now, because I can extend it one level even in a module, right? Shoot, I guess I can't. Um, yeah, I guess the only thing to do is include, right? Oh, you know what? I wonder if I include it here. Um, or what if I extend this, but if I actually include strings? I wonder if it'll. Maybe I was overthinking that, right? Maybe it was actually maybe Steve was actually right. Nope, it's definitely extend and then include for some reason. Definitely is working better. I'd say. I'm not even sure if it could do the alias though, right? Oh, you know what? Um, it's probably because I changed strings, and then I have an alias here. How do you do aliases? Alias type? A type of alias? That's not really what I wanted. I guess I can just treat it like it's another method, right? Def self table name also is a string. Okay, let's see. So if I include it in the module, that's it. Okay, so if I include, I'm extending this, but I've included strings. So I wonder if Ruby will know if I run the test, right? Okay, yeah, no, it can't. It can't do it. It can't do it. Extend yes code strings. So if I include yes table class methods, but I'm extending table and including strings, right? Okay. So the only reason it has table names is not because of yes table. So that means if I extend table here in this module, yeah, I might actually, you know, I'm gonna try one more thing. I might actually bring that back. Class methods. Did I try that? I think I did. So I include strings here. Oh, not. Oh, wow. What? Oh, because right. It's testing because I. So if I include strings in, it's gonna fail, right? Oh no, it's gonna type check because I added it here. Okay, well, that's that then. I guess the moral of the story is don't like do this thing with modules. Okay, so if I include this, so if I include the modules, I think I'm probably fine, right? What if I don't do that? It definitely won't. The test won't run, right? They'll fail for sure. Okay, let me see. Yeah. Yep. Undefined method table name. So if I extend this, and then here, I'm calling table name from the, you know, maybe this is a thing for prepend though, right? Because the class, maybe I do want to prepend. Maybe I do want to prepend. Yes table? Instead of extend? Prepend? And then maybe if I include this and I say included, class prepend class methods. And then I could say class prepend, or here I can say prepend strings, right? Yeah, I wonder if that would do it. Okay, so if I include this into this module, or even if I extend this into this module. No, let's try that. Okay, that doesn't work. Um, so I'm prepending strings here, but it doesn't matter. So this including strings here actually doesn't even matter, right? It only matters for the type checker. Because even if I took that away, and in yes record, I called this. Yeah, it really only matters as a standalone thing. Yeah. Um, yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I learned a little something about Ruby 3 types today, and modules, which I haven't done a ton of stuff with. So it's nice that I learned that, I guess, but yeah, I'm not super into it. Okay, so next week I'll be back next week. Next week is going to be a Rust week for sure. I'm really excited about Rust and self-hostable things on the Raspberry Pi. So that's one thing that I would love to do with just tiny executables and tiny runtime requirements. I've been looking for this, and it seems like it's going to be good. And if I just use a bunch of crates, I should be able to get by with like actual making actual web stuff instead of trying to re-implement everything myself. So that's it. That's it for the stream.